It's the Star Build Strike versus the Wing Gundam Fenice, in my review of Gundam Build Fighters, Episode 15. The resolve of a man is a tough thing to break, and this episode was the perfect demonstration of that. This episode was Sei and Reiji versus Riccardo Fellini, the Italian dandy, the Star Build Strike, and the Wing Gundam Fenice. And it didn't disappoint, it was an awesome battle, and it ended in something of an upset. But let's go ahead and talk about some other cool stuff this week, which was the awesome cameos which are dominating this series. My favorite ones this week were the Psycho Gundam and the Providence Gundam. The first one is the Psycho Gundam, which is this giant mobile suit, which is literally the size of a skyscraper, and it's one of the main ones seen in Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, and this week it was torn to shreds by Nils Nielsen, the American fighter, the samurai boy. Although ironically in this episode he actually dressed up as a ninja to sneak in on the PPSE president. But the other one that was seen this week was the Providence Gundam, which was the main Gundam that was seen at the end of Gundam Seed, which was piloted by Rala Crusay, who is sort of the Char clone of that series. I still don't like the fact that the series is not telling us anything about Reiji. There was even a big confrontation between Reiji and the PPSE president that was hinted at the end of last week's episode, but it doesn't really go anywhere. It's basically just Reiji telling the guy, hey, don't interfere with my battles, and that's going to be it. They're not bringing up the fact that he might be some sort of strange intergalactic space prince. But the main battle this week between Riccardo, Sei, and Reiji was really exciting. I think the most interesting aspect of it is that everybody was sort of expecting for Riccardo to let Sei and Reiji just sort of have the win, because supposedly there'd be like a loophole where he'd still be able to go into the finals and he could actually take a loss. But he's not the type of guy who's just going to bend over and be beaten that way. He wants to test his skills, and he wants to show that his Wing Gundam Fenice can kick some major ass. And there was even this small little flashback that they showed with Riccardo as a young child, and he actually had the Wing Gundam model, and that's really all they focused on. They just sort of showed him growing up over the years using the Wing Gundam and how he slowly changed it into the Wing Gundam Fenice. The actual battle between the Star Build Strike and the Wing Gundam Fenice is really intense and very brutal. At first, they sort of just test each other out to see if they're really going to go all out and try to kill each other. And they literally tear each other to pieces. They get to a point where they basically punch each other's heads off, and the entire battle sort of ends in a draw. But it sort of works this way. Everybody sort of wins. And the thing that I think was really good about this battle is they also teased another of the Star Build Strike's abilities, where apparently it's going to be able to manipulate the Plavsky particles and sort of become one with it, and it has it like going throughout its entire mobile suit body, and this allows it to control at like ridiculous speeds. The episode managed to deliver on the action and a little bit of character development on Riccardo Fellini's part, and I really appreciated that, because he's definitely one of the main characters of the series, and he's just really, really funny. I still felt it kind of strange, though, that everybody was sort of, like, accepting the fact that he was supposed to let Sei and Reiji win. This is the frickin' Gunpla World Tournament. You're in it to win it, and nothing else. And speaking of badass Gunpla battlers, it looks like next week's episode is going to be one of the more interesting ones. Sei's father is finally going to return into the series. I haven't seen him outside of the intros, and they've been building him up quite a bit. He was the runner-up in one of the big tournaments, and he used the original RX-78 Gundam. And it looks like he might even be entering this tournament and using something of his own, or actually he has a gift for his son. All I know is it's going to be great to finally see them interact with each other, because they've been building up his character quite a bit. But still, this was a pretty solid episode of Gundam Build Fighters. It moved at a pretty brisk pace. It had a lot of really explosive, really cool animation. Star Build Strike had a few more abilities, and the Wing Gundam Fenice was awesome. I especially love the scene where Riccardo finally decided he's going to go all out, and you can see there's this great homage to the opening of Wing Gundam, where essentially he lifts up his head and then they transition to the Fenice Gundam, and its eyes glow, and it's just a great reference to the opening of that series, which is just a classic Gundam series in general, and one of the most popular all over the world. I think we can thank Toonami for that one. Finally, I had one complaint with this one, is that the animation was somewhat inconsistent at times. There were times when it looked really good, and there were times when it looked so-so. So I'm going to drop this one down to a 9 out of 10, but this is an episode that if you're following the series, you should definitely check it out, because it is an epic battle between two awesome Gunpla battlers. So how did you guys feel about the battle between the Star Build Strike and the Wing Gundam Fenice? You can let me know with your comments below. Remember guys, before you leave, make sure and hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. And make sure and check out this brand new video me and Christian just worked on. It is an update on the Super Kami Guru 9000 anime collection. I will put a link to that in the description box below, so make sure and check it out. Thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. So, I'll see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.